Mega Gengar is one of the most threatening Mega Evolutions in the VGC MA format, with the access to Shadow Attack, which does trap the opponents and has threatening options such as Perish Song, as well as really strong special attack damage output with its Sludge Bomb and Shadow Ball combination. We're going to be trying out one of the best Mega Gengar teams in the format right now, which recently got top 4, top 16, and another placement in day 2 at the biggest online tournament of all time in Pokemon Champions so far. This team that features Mega Gengar did really well in the Grand Champions Festival. It was able to get a top 4 placement by Santino, as well as a top 16 placement by North, as well as another day 2 performance by Sidarth. And they were a team building group that created a Perish Song Mega Gengar build that features Alolan Ninetales and Dragonite. Let's break down the team. So first Pokemon up is going to be the Mega Gengar, and Mega Gengar is of course one of the best Mega Evolutions in the game because of the access to its Shadow Tag ability, which of course will prevent your opponent from switching unless they're a Ghost type specifically. So we have this Mega Gengar, which is really strong, base 170 special attack 2, and that's why it's actually running the Modest Nature instead of the Timid, because even though it is a pretty fast speed stat, you do want general bulk investment on the Gengar. You don't go max speed usually in a lot of cases. You want to have bulk on a Perish Song Mega Gengar, because of course with Perish Song, you are having the ability to of course put both Pokemon or all Pokemon on the field 3 turns on a counter till they all faint, and be able to stick around with that Shadow Tag, and of course to keep them in the trap loop. So we have pretty much a lot of HP on the Gengar, 30 stat points in general, 12 into defense. This allows you to live like Jolly Earthquake from the Garchomps, as well as Stomping Tantrum because of the same base power, and it can be helpful into Kingambit against some of their spreads as well with Sucker Punch, and then the rest is going to be going into speed, and this allows the Mega Gengar to be able to speed creep the like base 120s like the Modest Frostlass as well as the Adamant Sneaslers if they do go max speed, while you run the Modest Nature because the base 170 special attack of Mega Gengar is still nice, and you want to be able to do some damage. Sometimes you can't go for the Perish Song safely, so you'll try to get some damage off to pick up a KO or 2, and then go for a Perish Song to clean up in the end. So that's another strong route that you can take with Mega Gengar, and it's really an effective mod if played properly. Next Pokemon we have is going to be a standard Focus Sash Sneasler. It is going to be max speed, max attack, and the rest into HP with that Focus Sash to survive any really one strong hit. And of course with the Unburden ability, which of course will activate after its item is used up and give it a double speed boost. So very effective with the Sneasler, and it can be really nice just for the threatening the damage output with Dire Claw and Close Combat. With how good Sneasler just hits a lot of the Pokemon in the format, like Incineroar, like Kingambit, like Eternal Flood, just being able to lock them in with Mega Gengars and not have to worry about Intimidate, so you're running the Focus Sash instead because maybe you want to stick around for the Perish Song endgame and keep itself around while still being able to threaten the maximum amount of damage output with that max attack, so you can actually get the KOs, especially if they're like Chople Berry, Kingambit that's not that bulky. Yeah, then the close combats can KO through that Chople Berry, so you want the maximum damage output you can while sticking around with that Focus Sash. Again, could be useful for the Perish Song endgames especially, and you can play around Intimidate because you trap in the Incineroar, bring out the Sneasler, and then you're in a good spot. So this EV spread here, pretty standard, and then the moveset is also pretty standard, but it's like what Sneasler likes to do, right? Just really strong damage output that it has access to that it can go for against a lot of the format. Next Pokemon has been a popular pick with the Mega Gengar, and that is going to be Alolan Ninetales. And the reason you want Alolan Ninetales on Mega Gengar teams, you want weather control, especially into rain and sun. Charizard Y is a huge threat to Mega Gengar, has always been, because those heat waves threaten so much damage. And then you also have access to rain with like Pelipper or Child Basculegion, and that's able to threaten a lot of damage into Gengar, so you want to be able to find a way to play around these. And being able to change your own weather with snow is very effective here. So we have the Alolan Ninetales, which is able to help out and change the weather, which is solid. It also can make our Child very awkward because of the fact that it can't go for that Electric Shot in the rain with the snow up, so that's pretty nice. But also, this Alolan Ninetales has access to, one, a lot of speed because it has a really high speed stat of 109, which is very useful in this case because you can go for Encore and Disable, which is very disruptive with Shadow Tag, because normally you're able to either lock the opponent into the last move they used or prevent them from using the last move they used. And with Shadow Tag, they aren't able to switch, which means they are getting either Encored or Disabled, which puts you in very favorable spots especially. So that is another great reason why Ninetales is here. And then also Blizzard, because it actually is a Pokemon that can be able to handle Garchomp, which is a very significant one that Gengar doesn't like, is also very much appreciated. So we're running this Never Melt Ice on the Ninetales because you do have the Sash on the Sneasler, and that is so you can run a good amount of speed and bulk on the Alolan Ninetales without having to sacrifice the Blizzard damage output, because Ninetales does have the best special attack stat in the world. We do have this Ninetales which is able to outspeed the neutral nature base 120. It's going to be that Frostlass with Mega Evolution alongside the Sneasler, and then has a good amount of general bulk, and then the Blizzard will still do a good amount with the special attack investment. So able to help get rid of the Garchomps, dish out a ton of damage. Not much to say. This Ninetales going to be very disruptive for some teams and provide excellent weather control for the Mega Gengar. Next Pokemon we have is going to be the multi-scale Dragonite, and Dragonite is just a really nice mon with the Mega Gengar because it is able to switch into some of the moves that it doesn't like, those really strong fire type moves as well as ground type attacks that it is immune to, and having a switch into ground types, especially with 3 ground weeks on this team, very much appreciated. So another way to threaten Kingambit as well, threaten the Garchomp with the Dragon Fang Dragon Claw that it does have access to make sure that it gets those knockouts. Yeah, it's very effective. And multi-scale, great ability to have the damage that the Dragonite takes when it's at full HP. Very beautiful. So we have Dragon Claw for the Garchomps. Also, like, don't run Scale Shot because it's consistent. Low Kick for the Kingambits and Incineroars. Extreme Speed for priority in case you need to get some cleanups in the end. And then Protect to keep itself around. And simple Max Attack, Max Speed. Yeah, not much to say because Dragonite's already a pretty bulky Pokemon. Has great resistances thanks to its typing. And with the multi-scale ability, we'll be able to take at least 1 hit usually. Next Pokemon we have is going to be a classic Incineroar. And of course, when you have Citrus Berry Incineroar, it is just a really great partner in general. Great support Pokemon, Intimidate, access to Fake Out, Parting Shot is really good. And Intimidate just lowers the attack of the opponent's side. You have the max HP on this Incineroar with the max defense, which is kind of interesting, but it's mainly so you can take like a close combat from Sneasler and switch into all the moves that Gengar doesn't appreciate. Think of the Earthquakes from Garchomp, think of the Kowtow Cleaves from opposing Kingambit, and especially if you're giving them the boost with the Intimidate and Defiant interaction, yeah, you're going to make sure you take those well. Can live some very powerful attacks, close combat Sneasler, -1 Wave Crash you're eating up. Yeah, it's very much appreciated on this Incineroar. So we have max defense Incineroar to take on those attacks a bit better, and then the rest is going to be Flare Blitz for the fire type at coverage, Parting Shot, which of course being able to pivot around, Fake Out, which of course is able to set up for Parasong and multiple other factors, and then Protect because you are running a Parasong team. You want to be able to protect on the Parasong counter, so Protect is very nice on this Incineroar specifically. You don't need the Dark type move because you do have Dark coverage, which the next Pokemon we'll talk about. But this Incineroar, just a classic pairing. It's a good mon, especially paired with Mega Gengar. I don't think there's much that I really have to say about this. Final Pokemon on this team is going to be the Kingambit. And Kingambit might be a bit interesting on this team, especially because it's adding another Ground Week, as well as you do already have a Dark type. So why are you running Kingambit on this team? Well, Kingambit does help out with quite a few factors with Mega Gengar. One, it really helps out against the faster ghost types. Think of Pokemon like Mega Frostlass, and especially the also threatening Scarf Basket Legion. And you want to make sure you have a way to threaten it, so we are going to still be running Kingambit because it's able to pressure those Pokemon, as well as like other ones like the Aegislash and a few other ghost types out there. So Kingambit's really nice here. It's also able to threaten opposing Kingambits because it does have access to Low Kick, and you have to Chople Berry to be able to take a fighting move usually. So this Kingambit is very, very fast, and it's to speed creep some opposing Kingambits. We have maximum attack because you still want the Sucker Punch roll into the Basket Legions, as well as like dishing out good bounce of damage to the Low Kick because you need to damage the opposing Kingambits. It's a very big priority to get rid of the Kingambits as soon as possible. And we're running a lot of speed to speed creep some of those Kingambits that might be like faster than stuff under like Tailwind. So we have quite a bit of speed investment, but we still want bulk so Kingambit actually survives attacks, so we have a decent amount of HP. So this Kingambit, Defiant ability, classic because it is able to ignore the Intimidates and get a boost on top of it. Great switch-ins to Icy Wind and other stat dropping options. It is a mon that is still able to surprisingly support the Gengar, even though it shares a few weaknesses. So how to use the team? Well, most of the team you are going to be going with the Mega Gengar. The idea is to get the Gengar Mega Evolved as quickly as possible, so you have the access to that Shadow Tag on deck and then just trap your opponents into unfavorable positions. That's mainly how you play Mega Gengar. and you will generally be leading Mega Gengar in most of your games. You will lead it generally with probably Incineroar, probably one of the most common leads, a big staple since Incineroar got Intimidate, because you have access to Fake Out plus the Perish Trap with the Gengar, which is a really effective tool, but also just the fact that Incineroar Intimidate makes the Gengar be able to take the attacks a lot better, and you can obviously Parting Shot or U-turn pivot normally where you are able to bring out a threat afterward. And yeah, it just prevents Gengar from taking as much damage, as I said before, while being able to just get into position to get those knockouts while they're trapped in. You also have access to like Sneasler Gengar, which is also another effective lead because you do have access to Fake Out plus Perish again. And maybe you don't want to lead Incineroar because maybe there's a Kingambit. So you can threaten the close combats into the Kingambits with the Sneasler. You have other offensive leads though, of course, for the most part. You have like Incineroar that can obviously lead with anything, with like maybe Kingambit Sneasler. Kingambit can be nice for that Define boost if they have an Intimidate that you want to threaten immediately and you get some damage into like Incineroar and opposing Kingambits to make it easier for Mega Gengar to come in and be able to actually do things, not when threatened by the Dark type moves. You also have the Dragonite, which is a pretty effective lead just because multi-scale means it takes any one big attack and you can fire off damage. It's pretty nice. Ninetales will usually be kept in the back because you really want it in those Weather Wars to make the Charizard Y threaten less damage, as well as, of course, the Pelipper Archaludon combination. And the physical attackers can just lead right away, so you can maybe go for a mid-game or late-game Perish Song, or, of course, with this team, you can also go with just offense immediately, take a knockout, maybe even two, and then clean up with Perish Song in the late game is also another great option. If you'd like to check out the details of the team and the creators, I'll link them down below the description. And if you'd like to try out the team, there is a replica code right here. And of course, check it out down below in the description. Otherwise, let's get started and play some games with probably one of the best Mega Gengar teams in the format right now. All right, we have Sneasler, Eternal Floa, Pelipper, Archaludon, Aerodactyl, and Basculegion. So we got two potential Megas, Aerodactyl and Eternal Floa, which I have a feeling both are going to be Mega Evolutions on this team. All right, so we have Weather Control, which is nice. I do like Gengar a lot here. Gengar is pretty strong because it's great into the Eternal Flood. The question is, am I leading Sneasler or am I leading Incin? I kind of like Incin lead. It overall is pretty decent here, I'd say. So I kind of like the Incin plus the Gengar. Then the question is, am I going full Perish here? Because Dragonite is not really that great against my opponent's team, although it can be nice, I suppose. I am kind of worried about maybe Basculegion endgame, so I feel like I should bring Gambit just so I have Sucker Punch to threaten it. I think the back, I'd probably want Kingambit and Ninetales. Yes, I'm worried about Last Respect endgame from the Basculegion, so I think I bring Kingambit just so I have an answer to Last Respect. It makes it a little bit awkward to play against the Sneasler, but overall, I don't think this is a terrible decision. So let's see what they decide to go for here, lead-wise. As we're going to see the lead of Pelipper Archaludon. So this is fine. I could go Ninetales. I could also just Fake Out and go for a Perish immediately, which is also not a bad play. I could Fake Out either one of these Pokemon. So, got a few options. Unfortunately, this Incineroar definitely doesn't take... Actually, I could go Ninetales for this slot for... I have quite a few options. I do like Mega Evolving with Gengar. The question is, are they going to Flash Cannon the Incin? Because I could see Flash Cannon to Incin this turn. But you know what? I think Perish Song and go out into Ninetales turn one isn't the worst for me, even if they get the Flash Cannon read here. I don't want to Fake Out the Arch immediately. The reason I don't want to Fake Out the Arch is because if I go down to Weather Ball from Pelipper, it's really bad. So I think I should always bring out Ninetales and I should protect here. Or not protect, Perish. Let's see. Alright, we bring out the Gengar and we can go for Perish Song here. Did they Flash Cannon read? We do get a Perish Song up. Flash Cannon plus Weather Ball shouldn't KO the Gengar either. They Electroshot. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so they Electroshot, which is great for me. And what does Pelipper do? Tailwind? Nice. Beautiful. Okay, we're in a great spot. Unless the Pelipper has U-turn for some reason, what we can do here is we can protect Gengar and we can Fake Out the Archaludon, which is great for me. So I am going to go for Protect with my Gengar, and I am going to swap out into Incineroar. I could also Encore lock them into Electroshot, which isn't the worst play either. Because they probably targeted a Gengar slot. You know what? I think that is the better play. I'm going to Encore to our child on Electroshot because unless this is Rain Dance Pelipper, they're locked into Electroshot and have to charge again. So that gives me more time to build up momentum. The Electroshot, this was Gengar. Yep, perfect. Perfect. And now Encore the Archaludon into Electroshot. This is why Ninetales is really good because he trap into Archaludon while they can't get Rain Up. And they did Hurricane the Gengar. So this is beautiful. So now what I can do actually is I can disable the Pelipper because we saw that the Pelipper moved first. And they're going to forfeit immediately because they realize they're in such a bad position. Excellent. Excellent. Not much to say. Gengar doing Gengar things. Alright, we see the Charizard, Eternal Floette, Sinistra, Sneasler, Garchomp, and Incineroar, which this is like okay matchup wise. I wouldn't say it's like incredible, but I think it's okay. So I don't know if they lead Sneasler. I think it's very doubtful. I do actually love my Dragonite though. My Dragonite's really good in this matchup across the board. Kingambit, not really necessary, I think. Yeah, we don't really need Kingambit here. I'd say the best is probably Gengar. Gengar's really good. I'd say Gengar Instant is pretty solid for the most part. Have Dragonite in the back and Ninetales. I could see Sneasler going. I just don't know if I'm going to perish immediately because if they bring Eternal Floette, I might just Sludge Bomb just for the damage output because Eternal Floette's scary. And then if I KO the Eternal Floette, I think the Dragonite's really good. But if they lead Charizard, I might go for Perish, but we'll see. I think this mode is pretty good here. Like Sneasler is not bad for the close combat, but it's not necessary. And then Kingambit is just not really great into Sneasler, Garchomp, Incin, and the Charizard, so I definitely leave it behind. Sneasler was the only mon I would maybe consider. Close combat Dire Claw aren't bad here, but I don't think it's necessary. Let's see what they decide to go with. Garchomp, Charizard. Okay, yeah, this is kind of what I expected lead-wise, so that's why I led the Incin and the Gengar. So this is a pretty good situation, because I do get the Intimidate off immediately. And I think this turn, I could trap in the Garchomp. So what I'm going to do, actually, is I'm going to Mega Evolve with my Gengar, go for Protect with Gengar, and I'm going to Parting Shot the Charizard. This Charizard Protect. I think it's unlikely. We'll see. I guess if they protect us. Well, if they protect, it's not terrible for me. Because I do have a backup plan, which is switch out into Dragonite. It wouldn't be ideal, but granted, it is still a plan. And I think they still want to apply pressure with the Charizard because what if I fake out the Garchomp as they protect and then they're just absolutely screwed here, right? Yeah. So I think I just go for a Parting Shot plus a swap. Okay, they switch out the Garchomp into Incineroar. Okay, that's fine. That's fine by me. We do Mega Evolve with our Gengar. The Charizard Protect. I feel like you shouldn't protect here, but maybe they do. Okay, yeah, they did attack. Okay, this is good. My Dragonite's going to be in a crazy spot, especially since it's probably very likely they brought Eternal Floette. So I like this spot. We see the Mega Evolution from Charizard. This is probably Heat Wave or Weather Ball. Both are fine. We do protect our Gengar. And we get the Charizard to... They protected if I Parting Shot. Okay. That's annoying. That's annoying. Is it playable? Yeah, but that's really annoying. Okay. Oh. Because if I Parting Shot the Garchomp slot and go Ninetales, I was in such a good position. I guess because they went Instant though, I couldn't Encore. But yeah, I go out in a Dragonite now and I got a Parting Shot the Charizard. Okay, now I'm in a negative spot here. It's playable, but it's not great. We do bring out the Dragonite as they do go for Heat Wave. I guess this is Heat Wave Parting Shot, which is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Oh, they Throw Chop the Gengar. Okay. Interesting. As I do get a Parting Shot off into the Charizard. And I think this turn, do I want to go Ninetales first? I think Ninetales first makes sense. Because that means this Charizard's really not doing any damage. Oh, wait, if I go Ninetales, they can... No, I don't want to go Ninetales, actually, because then they get an Ice-type Weather Ball. I think I gotta go Gengar. Yeah, I gotta go Gengar here. Which is a bit unfortunate, but it has to. I could go Incin here, but I think my best play is just to Dragon Claw the Incineroar. The question is, am I Sludge Bomb in the Incineroar too? Because I don't think Sludge Bomb in a Dragon Claw would KO. I need to get rid of Incin. If I get rid of Charizard, it's not bad though. Because if I get rid of Charizard, Ninetales Blizzard looks good. So that's also another line I could take. I do need damage into Incineroar at some point, but you know what? I'm going to go for the Dragon Claw, and I'm going to protect the Gengar. It's a bit obvious. I don't know if they'll go for Parting Shot here, but that's alright if they do into the Dragonite. But we'll protect Gengar. They do Heat Wave again. Perfect. That's acceptable. Dragonite takes. We'll live with Throat Chop as well. Nice. We get the Dragon Claw off. That puts in Sludge Bomb range. Beautiful. As they Throat Chop to Dragonite. They do KO actually, but that's acceptable. Yeah, I don't mind that. Because I get to go Incin now. And I get to fake out the Incineroar and I threaten Sludge Bomb damage into Charizard. So even though this isn't the greatest spot, I think I could still win, depending on what their last is. But they're still trapped regardless. I do get a fake out off into Incin, and I do get a Sludge Bomb off into the Charizard. Also, if they want to click Earthquake, they might have to Earthquake their own Incin, which is pretty good for me. So we'll fake out as they protect, which is fine. Because next turn, I'm going to Parting Shot the Incin and Sludge Bomb the Charizard. Or I Sludge Bomb the Charizard, Parting Shot the Incin. Yeah, so I can get the Ninetales in and get rid of this Sun. Oh, it's Leftovers Incin. Which makes it a bit annoying to remove, but across the board, I mean, my best play is still to Parting Shot the Incin. So it's doing a lot less damage, and I Sludge Bomb the Charizard. Yeah, this works out for me because I get to Parting Shot and most likely the Incin isn't going to be faster than my, or it's not going to be slower than my Incin, so I get to see what they lock into. They go for Throat Chop into Incin. Okay, that's fine. I actually don't mind that. I do not mind that. I think the question is, are you Scarf Garchomp? That's my only concern because I don't know if it's Scarf Garchomp. This is going to be the Garchomp coming in. And then they're going to... I don't think they Earthquake. Did they Rock Slide? Maybe they have Stomping. If they have Stomping, it's probably more likely it is Scarf. So I think I definitely bring out Ninetales and I protect the Gengar. So I'm going to see how they play this turn. Because if there's Scarf, you're not going to click Earthquake in this situation. You're probably clicking Rock Slide. And if it's Rock Slide... then I could switch out back to Incin and maybe perish these mons. Or I could do some other tactics. So maybe I could have hard swapped the Incin. Because I didn't think they would Throat Chop my Incineroar. But my Gengar is healthy, which I'm a bit surprised by. So that works out fine for me. Alright. Let's see if they have a way to punish this. They could Flare Blitz my Ninetales. But I don't know if that would KO. Especially after the Intimidate. Alright, switch out the Incin into Ninetales. We'll find out if it's Scarf Chomp now, I think. Because if you're Scarf Chomp, you should Stomping Tantrum. Oh, they self-Earthquaked. Okay, I mean, their Incin just took a bunch of damage, which is very good for me. Did they Earthquake Flare Blitz? They did a lot of damage to themselves. Good play on their part. Does this KO? Yeah, it didn't. Okay. Are they Scarf? I'm just curious if they're Scarf or not because I can Blizzard here. Oh man, if I get this play right, I win the game. I think the play is to protect the Ninetales and go out in Incin, because it's pretty safe for the most part. I don't really see how they punish this. We get to see if there's Scarf confirmed by just Earthquake themselves, but we'll see. I can also be scouting for Protect, so I think this is my best play regardless, because I can fake out Blizzard the next turn. They're 100% Scarf, okay. They're 100% Scarf. Incin takes a beating. I gotta think about how I position this endgame, but I mean, I think my position's fine. Yeah, my position's fine. They're gonna forfeit, actually. Okay. Curious what their last is. Maybe it's Sinistra? Or maybe it's Sneasler. But I did think I have a line, but I had to fake out Blizzard in a good position. But if it's not Sneasler, I just get the fake out off, so I guess it's not too bad. Because I can fake out the Garchomp, and then Blizzard if it's not Sneasler. And if it's Sneasler, they have to fake out Earthquake, so I guess I like double protect, then I swap out the Gengar into for the Ninetales and parting shot the Garchomp, and I think I'm in a fine spot, because if they are Scarf Garchomp, they have to Earthquake twice, and yeah, the Sneasler just is always threatened, so I don't think they have much of an out there, but oh my goodness. Had to play around that Charizard after they got the turn 1 right. Alright, we have Charizard, Eternal Floette, Kingambit, Basculegion, Sneasler, and the Garchomp. So they have a Gambit, which actually does make this a little bit tough. They do have a Gambit. They don't have an Incin though. I think my best lead is probably just Gengar plus Dragonite. Because Dragonite's really good as a lead here, I think, for the most part. I am a little bit concerned about their Basculegion in the endgame though. Am I bringing the Ninetales? Probably. This is kind of suspicious because I don't know if this is a good line or not. Because I am worried about endgame Basque if it's Choice Scarf. Because what I want to bring is Dragonite, Incin, and Ninetales as the final. Do I need Incin? I probably do because Garchomp could get a bit out of hand if I don't. I could be really weak to endgame Basque, but we'll see. I think it's Charizard, Garchomp, Kingambit, and Basque as the two. Maybe I should have counterplayed it more, potentially. I think I should have probably brought Gambit so I could just Sucker Punch the Basque. It's not necessary if I keep Incin around for Intimidate, but yeah, the Last Respect is still really scary. But it depends. If they're not Scarf, then I can play around it. Alright, let's see what my opponent decides to lead here. Gonna be Garchomp Charizard? Kingambit Charizard. Okay, so my Dragonite lead's really good here. Yeah, my Dragonite lead is fantastic here. The question is, what am I clicking this turn? Is the Protect so obvious from the Gengar? Is it worth? Because I think the Dragonite should be respected here. Oh, do I play aggressive? Do I double up the Charizard immediately? Or do I low kick the Gambit? It's a bit tricky. I think I go for Dragon Claw. I think I Dragon Claw the Charizard and protect the Gengar. I really want to double up the Charizard with Sludge Bomb plus Dragon Claw, but it's acceptable. Let's see how much this Dragon Claw does, because it should do a good amount to the Charizard. We will Mega Evolve. Let's see, it should be Mega Charizard Y on this. Yep. Do they protect? I don't think they protect. I think they have to go on the offense. I'm really thinking this is Heat Wave Kowtow, and I'm really wanted to double up a slot with like maybe Shadow Ball Low Kick, but I don't think that KOs the Gambit or Sludge Bomb Dragon Claw, which is way more likely to KO. But yeah, we will protect the Gengar. And Dragon Claw the Charizard. Extreme Speed does not KO that. Okay. That's a bit tough. Heat Wave. No burn. They did Iron Head. Okay, so probably not Kowtow then. Alright. Okay. I don't know if they Sucker Punch the Dragonite on Extreme Speed. They could Sucker Punch the Gengar because I do threaten the Charizard technically. I think my best play is just to go out into Incin and probably protect my Dragonite. So I have access to fake out the next turn. Yeah, this is a bit tough. Maybe I should have brought like Sneasler or something. We do bring out the Incin, get the Intimidate off, but Defiant, yeah. Because it's probably not Supreme Overlord, most likely if they let it. We do go for the Protector Dragonite. Let's see what they go for. Heat Wave, okay. On the bright side, we have a Flare Blitz threatening the Gambit, but the problem is we are slow Incin. Wow, they played aggressive. Also, it's not low kick in. It's not low kick Gambit. Yeah, it's not low kick Gambit because if it had low kick, yeah, Ironhead, Kowtow. I assume this is not low kick. Okay. So we're in a troublesome spot, but like it's still playable. I think I fake out the Charizard. The question is, what am I doing with the Dragonite? Am I clicking low kick here, or am I clicking extreme speed? Because Sucker Punch is a bit annoying. I guess I could fake out extreme speed to Charizard, which is not a bad play, but if they go for like a Kowtow or Ironhead, it's better for me to low kick. But you know what? I'll just fake out extreme speed. They protect. Double protect makes sense to me. They played aggressive with the Gambit. I could have Flare Blitzed. Oh, that's such a bad one there. Okay. This part is tough. This part is tough. I think probably I just led it wrong. But then again, what do I lead against this? I guess it has to be Sneasler. Or maybe it's just Ninetales Gengar and I Encore disable immediately, but no, because I get Heat Wave doubled up. I mean, I go Ninetales now. Maybe I should have went Gengar and Flare Blitzed. I think I should have went Gengar Flare Blitz, actually. I do think I'm losing the Basque in the endgame, though. Like, realistically, I think I'm losing to it in the endgame. Gonna protect Flare Blitz and get the damage in a Gambit, ideally. This could be a swap from the Charizard. I just don't think I beat Basque unless it's not Scarf. Alright. We will protect our Ninetales on hopefully Heat Wave Ironhead double up. And then maybe Blizzard KOs the Gambit after Flare Blitz. I think it's unlikely. Also, that Gambit's really slow. Okay. I can disable the Charizard, I suppose, on the Heat Wave. The Ironhead. Okay. We have an option, I suppose. We're gonna disable the Charizard's Heat Wave and Flare Blitz the Gambit, I suppose. They could Sucker Punch the Incin, but like, not like in a really great spot to really. I think maybe I should slow down because I do have outs. It's just like really unlikely outs. I think I should switch to Gengar, disable the Charizard, then I can Encore lock and disable the Gambit. Yeah, I think that was better. Let's see. If I do get the KO on Gambit, though, we do have a shot. Okay, wait, hold on. They gave me the option. Okay, I do get to disable into Charizard. Nice. And I will KO the Gambit with Flare Blitz. Okay, we might have an out. We might have an out. It's like really spooky, but we do have an out. All right. Gambit gone. And then what's coming in? If it's Basque, I'm clicking disable on the Basque, reading the Last Respect. Like, that's what I'm gonna do. Show me Basque Legion. Because if they give me an opportunity, it's now to get the Basque. Oh my goodness, wait. Show me Last Respect. Show me Last Respect. I protect the Incin so I still have a Pokemon around because they might Weather Ball here. And we disable the Basque Legion. Oh my goodness. Also, if this is not Scarf, I totally threw because then I could just sack the Incin and I can go for Blizzard, Shadow Ball the next turn. But I feel like if you're going Basque Legion, it's probably Scarf. If they flip turn though, this is bad, but I don't know if they flip turn. They might flip turn the Incin though. They could flip turn the Incin over the Ninetales, which is crazy, but they could. I need 3 Pokemon around so I can deal with the Basque. and play around it. Because if I'm down to my last two, Last Respect gets a KO every time. All right, protect the Incin. It's not Scarf Bask. Aww. Okay, Ninetales takes it though. They Weather Ball. All right. Does Blizzard KO the Charizard? It's never melt ice. The thing is, I highly doubt it. Oh man. Is it Scarf Chomp in the back? If it's Scarf Chomp, I need Incineroar, so I have to go out into... I think I just have to Blizzard at this point. I think I have to just Blizzard, hope it KOs a Charizard, and they probably go for... I think the game's over if it is Scarf Chomp anyway in the back. Let's see. Bring out the Gengar. Blizzard. I don't think they're Last Respecting, they just saw Disable. Yeah, I don't KO the Charizard. This is probably like Wave Crash. I crit the Bask. I need to crit the Charizard. Liquidation. Oh, it's Sash. Okay. I guess I'll play for whatever is the back. Oh, wait. Gengar survives. I still think I lose very likely here, though. Because Aqua Jet is very likely to come out here. They probably Aqua Jet the Gengar and just... Well, I guess they can't KO the Ninetales in this position. Oh, I guess it's kind of a read here. And if I get the read right, I'm in a good spot. I think it's likely they Aqua Jet the Gengar. But let's say I protect Gengar, because Gengar Protect is really obvious. They can't punish the Ninetales other than Last Respecting. But here's the thing. I just don't know if they read the Protect. Because if they Aqua Jet, I could disable. My Ninetales survives. And then we have a game. But it just comes down to read. Oh, I think I should Shadow Ball Blizzard. Let's see. They protect. Oh, that's also not a good play, but I should have Blizzarded Charizard. Okay. This is Weather Ball into Ninetales. Are they trying to put me in Aqua Jet range? Maybe. Oh, I should have Blizzard. I should have Blizzard Shadow Ball. If I Blizzard Shadow Ball, it's a winnable spot. I think the game's over. I'm assuming Garchomp's the last and it's Scarf, but maybe... Okay, I think I just hope that they go for... I think I just hope at this point that they go for the Aqua Jet and Ninetales. And I get the Shadow Ball into Basket Legion is not Scarf on the chart in the Garchomp. I think that's the only play I have. If they Aqua Jet the Gengar, it's over. Okay, it's over. Alright. It was playable. The lead was rough, though. The lead was rough. I'm trying to figure out, like, what the optimal lead is. Do I just lead Instant immediately? I guess, like, I could lead Instant immediately. I'm just worried because Heat Wave Low Kick... Does it KO Instant at +1? It might. So I don't think I have an easy combination. Maybe it's Sneasler against these teams. Yet... The Gambit is just always concerning because it could run so many different options. And I can't figure out which one it is on this team. I mean, we go for Blizzard Freeze now. I think we live in Aqua Jet after Intimidate, so I always go for the Blizzard Freeze into Bask. And then we could see if it's Scarf Chomp maybe in the back. I guess I could have went for Blizzard, switch out Gengar to Incin, but actually no, the play would have been to Blizzard. I don't think I could win regardless, because if it is Scarf Chomp in the back, I have to fake out Blizzard anyway, and I just can't win. They switch out to Charizard into Garchomp. If I get a Blizzard Freeze, maybe. But they're smart here. Yeah, that's the smart play. So I don't even get to find out if it's Scarf Chomp, but I'm assuming by the way they played, it's very likely Scarf Chomp. So I get rid of the Garchomp. It takes the KO, but the problem is I can't Blizzard Freeze the Bask anymore, and they also got rid of the Snow. So I don't have the defense boost, and even though Basket Legion is at -1, Aqua Jet actually it's in the sun, but it doesn't matter because like I can't freeze the Basket Legion, so they got rid of that win con. Like, I would have needed them to mess up and get the Blizzard Freeze on the Basque, and then maybe I have a chance there. Because I'd have to hit like every raw Blizzard and maybe Encore disable the Basque Legion. But yeah, well played to my opponent. I think I needed to respect the Gambit more on lead. Gambit Charizard was just really, really annoying to break through. And I didn't get enough damage, I think. Alright, we have Charizard, Garchomp, Rotom-Wash, Venusaur, Aegislash, and Incineroar. So these kinds of teams are always annoying to deal with, but luckily no Kingambit, which is really nice here. But Sleep Powder, not the most fun thing to deal with. I'd say most likely I am just going to go with the Gengar Incineroar combo. It's really strong against this kind of composition. And then I don't think I need Sneasler. I think I bring Ninetales for weather control as well as Dragonite. Because Dragonite's pretty good against my opponent's team besides the Aegislash. Because Dragon Claw does do some wonders, and they don't have the best way of breaking through Dragonite quickly, while Dragon Claw is just able to do good damage across the board. If I get rid of the weather control and the Charizard, it makes dealing with the Venusaur Sleep Powder easier, but Earth Power is still not fun to deal with, but we'll find out what they decide to lead here. Alright. What are you leading? Incineroar Aegislash, which is pretty good for me, I'd say. Yeah, that's pretty good for me. Gengar Incin. I can get the Intimidate off immediately. I think this, by the way they're leading this, it could be Sash Aegislash, which is fine. I'm going to protect my Gengar, and I'm going to protect my Incin. You might think, oh, why protect both? But they have the faster Fake Out with Incin anyway, and I don't want to risk them going for a Fake Out Close Combat into Incin turn 1. Oh, they double swap here. Good Garchomp switch. How bad is that? It's playable. It's not great. Okay. So I wish I went for Parting Shot in the Aegislash instead. Maybe I should have. Maybe the Fake Out Close Combat is just really unlikely. And I do think it was really unlikely. So I think I probably should have just went for Parting Shot. Okay, we double protect here. I still think that this is playable though. Okay. Because they can't Earthquake in this spot. Oh, it's special Aegislash. And they Flash Cannon to cover Ninetales. Okay. I'm going Dragonite here. And I'm going to go for Parting Shot into the Aegislash. Because I guarantee a Parting Shot into the Aegislash slot. And special Aegislash actually is kind of annoying. I think it's very likely that they go for Earthquake King Shield. Or maybe they have Stomping Tantrum and they go for Stomping Tantrum. They could read the Dragonite switch, which is not great, but it's fine, I guess. Curious on what they do. Because if they are Scarf Garchomp, I would like to know. Because this plan like screams Scarf Garchomp to me. We bring out the Dragonite. They retreat the Aegislash into Rotom or Charizard? Charizard makes sense. Okay. This is still actually good for me. Yeah, they went for an Earthquake. Incin lives because I'm max defense. It takes a lot though. But this is still pretty good for me. Okay. We get the Citrus Berry, and now we can get a Parting Shot off into the Charizard, which we can then Dragon Claw the Charizard safely and protect the Gengar. Yeah, I like that a lot. Because if it is Scarf Garchomp, it's not that bad. Well, actually, it is still bad because... Actually, should I just Dragon Claw the Garchomp? I think I should, because the Charizard's not really threatening that much damage at the current moment. Yeah, I think I just protect Dragon Claw. Because here's the thing. If they are Scarf Garchomp, they're locked into Earthquake, and they're going to break my Multiscale anyway with Zard, I might as well just KO the Garchomp here, realistically. If it's not, next turn I can Shadow Ball the Garchomp and potentially just go out into Ninetales to shut down the weather, and with the Parting Shot drop on the Charizard, I should be taking Heat Waves fine. Name Mega Ball Charizard makes sense. Just need to figure out a way to get the most damage off possible. I need to get a knockout. Alright. This could... If this is Scale Shot Garchomp, though, this is bad. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're Scarf Garchomp, by the way they're playing this. I was, like, pretty confident earlier, and now I'm, like, absolutely certain. They go for Weather Ball. Okay. Maybe trying to catch an Incin on the switch. That makes sense. So you do more damage because the Protect is a bit obvious. But here comes Dragon Claw into the Garchomp, takes the knockout. So I do get rid of the Garchomp, which is massive. That's 1 Mon down, which makes it easier for Perish, potentially. Okay. And they still don't have the best damage output against my team. If this is Incin, I guess no matter who's coming in, I just go to Incin, right, for Gengar and Dragon Claw to Charizard. That's probably makes the most sense to me. Yeah, especially if it's Incineroar. So now I'm just gonna Dragon Claw the Charizard, get as much damage as I possibly can, go back to Incin for the Intimidate. My only problem is that Aegislash, but across the board, like, this is not a bad plan here. Because I can beat Aegislash with the combination of just Ninetales Gengar, but I really need to get the damage KOs into Incin and Charizard. So I will go for Incin here. I already protected Gengar, so I can't do Dragonite into Incin and protect. They protect Charizard, which is fine. Because that's one turn they're not doing damage, and that means my Incin got in safely for the Heat Wave. They parting shot my Incin. Okay. I mean, it was a bit obvious for me, but I mean, still, regardless, like, is there really heavy punish here? Not really. Do I just Dragon Claw Flare Blitz? Because my Incin is min speed. I don't know if their Aegislash was min speed. Was it? No, we never got to confirm because I protected on the turn they attacked. I think I just Dragon Claw the Charizard and the thing is I can't parting shot the Aegislash anyway because if I parting shot and it's slower than my Incin, I'm in a bad spot. I think I just Flare Blitz. It's not like the Charizard's doing crazy amounts of damage anyway. They probably go back to Incin for Charizard to get an Intimidate off in the Incin. And maybe a Fake Out Pressure and then maybe Aegislash King Shield. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if they King Shield though because maybe Substitute they have it. They didn't King Shield, okay. Who's faster? Okay, their Aegislash is faster and they went on the offense. That's good. They Shadow Ball, perfect. I get Flare Blitz in Sun, and this is Blade Form Aegislash. So I get the Flare Blitz off into the Aegislash and it goes down. Beautiful. Okay, now I just gotta figure out how I clean up this end game. Encore disables an option. There's a lot that could go here. This is probably Fake Out Heat Wave. Ooh. I think my play is to always sack the Dragonite here because Dragonite doesn't do much. I think I get an extreme speed off and I probably need the damage into probably the Incin. And I think I protect my Incin. Yeah, I think this is the best play. Let's see. Because I get an extreme speed off into the Incin for extra chip as they go for Heat Wave, probably Flare Blitz into my Incin. Okay, good. I actually needed them to connect on Dragonite because if Dragonite stayed in, I was in a really awful spot where I had to sack both. Now I think I get Ninetales in. As they Draw Chop. Beautiful. I think this is Air Slash Charizard. I think it's very likely Air Slash Charizard. Oh, if it's Air Slash Charizard, I'm in trouble. But I don't really have a play here. I kind of need them to take a KO into Incin or I get a parting shot off. I'm going to parting shot the Incin and go for a protect with my Ninetales. I think this is the best line that I have here. Actually, I should have parting shotted Charizard because I know they can't protect because of Encore. They go for Heat Wave again, which I'm surprised by because I could have disabled, but that's fine. Because I don't think their Incin KOs me at this range. I guess they could Draw Chop again. They did actually Draw Chop again. Okay. Was it to get damage here? Okay, now I might be in a lot of trouble. Let's see. If I disabled that turn and hard swap to Gengar, I was in a much better spot. Now I'm just in a rough spot. Let's see. Do they go for the Weather Ball or Air Slash this time? Because I don't think there's Solar Beam Charizard on this team. I really don't. Disable. Yeah, they Weather Ball. But I mean, they targeted a Ninetales, which is the best case. Did they Flare Blitz as well? Okay, wait, that works. Yeah, because Ninetales survives, which is kind of huge. It's Citrus Berry. Do I think Blizzard Sludge Bomb KOs? Well, I kind of have to go for it, right? There's like no other play that I have here. Perish Song isn't a reliable endgame with how much damage I've taken throughout the course. Mega Gengar has really high special attack and it's never Melt Ice Ninetales. I'm going for it. Because it is my best line here anyway. Alright, no Protect. Sludge Bomb comes out into that did nothing. That did nothing. Oh no. Blizzard damage is not bad. I mean, they might have Flare, but still didn't fall. Weather Ball. The thing is, they don't knock me out with Drill Chop, so this might not have still been bad anyway, even if this didn't happen, but regardless, this is not ideal still. Well, they say Frozen, so they didn't Flare Blitz. They went for Drill Chop. I win guaranteed off that. I'm not really happy with how I played this end game. I would have lived Drill Chop from the Incin, but the rest would have been a little bit dicey. But yeah, we fake out the Charizard and we Sludge Bomb the Incin. The Flare Blitz damage earlier would have been impactful instead of going for the Parting Shot, which I see now is probably more valuable. Also, if I disabled the Charizard earlier, this would have been a guaranteed win regardless. So there were a few things that I could have done to prevent this scenario. Now I don't think the Charizard has a win con because I'm pretty sure Heat Wave Crit doesn't knock out Gengar. And 2 Sludge Bombs should get the Charizard at 74%. We know the Incin doesn't have Protect because it's Flare Blitz Drill Chop. Trying to think about like the turn I messed up. I think I needed the Flare Blitz in the Aegis Slash. That was good. The turn 1 was pretty bad. It did lose me a lot of momentum. I did need the extreme speed damage into the Incin, so that was my best play there. I'm trying to think if there was any like other margins of errors I could have done. I think disable earlier so I could have gotten maybe more Blizzard damage off, but yeah. We Flare Blitz, I guess, and we go for Sludge Bomb into the Charizard. Because we don't need... They go for a Double Protect. Is there a reason to go for a Double Protect in this situation? Were they still disabled? Okay, yeah, that's why. Now they're going for Heat Wave. I mean, regardless, like, Heat Wave Crit doesn't knock out Gengar, but they have to hope, like, I'm a frail Gengar and that Heat Wave Crit KOs, I guess. I guess they need Heat Wave Crit burn into multiple Protects. I guess that's their out, so it's not guaranteed over, I suppose. But it's very unlikely they win. Yeah, Sludge Bomb does way too much, 40%. Yeah, Heat Wave Crit burn, and even then, you probably still need, like, 3 Protects. But yeah, the freeze was very fortunate there. Although, I guess if they Flare Blitz, they're not guaranteed to KO Gengar. Because if they Flare Blitz, they take recoil. Well, the recoil doesn't matter. I think it survives the recoil. But I don't think the Flare Blitz was KOing at -1, which was a huge part. Oh, wait, they weren't -1 yet. Yeah, they weren't -1. So I think that would have KO'd anyway. But yeah, I'm actually shocked of how well the Incin took the Sludge Bomb from the Gengar, because Mega Gengar has good special attack, but Incin is Incin, and I guess that was especially defensive Incin. So probably needed to find a way to get a little bit more damage to Incin earlier in the game, and it was definitely possible. All right, we have Mega Frostlass with Sneasler, Kingambit, Archaludon, Basculegion, and Pelipper. They have Frostlass on a rain team, which is very interesting. Huh, okay. What do I want to go against this team? So I have quite a few options. My Gengar it doesn't outspeed Timid Frostlass, which is a bit concerning. It's also Basculegion plus Kingambit, but we'll see. I think my best lead is probably to go with Sneasler. Is it Sneasler Gengar or is it Gengar? I think it's Gengar Sneasler. Because I can close combat Shadow Ball immediately to Arch. Ninetales in the back and Incin. Incin's not a bad lead in a Frostlass. I just don't know if they're leading Frostlass. Gambit is not a bad mon to bring here. But they do have Sneasler, Archalon, and their own Kingambit, which I do have my own Kingambit with Chopo and Low Kick, but I don't know if that's worth it. I think I just bring Gengar, Sneasler, because I'm kind of convinced it's one of the better leads into this team in general. Because the only lead this doesn't cover for us like Basque lead with Pelipper, but I don't think they're leading that. Oh, maybe they could. We'll see. Yeah, Frostlass Kingambit, that makes sense, and that's why I like the lead of Sneasler. Okay. Not terrible, but not great either. So what am I doing here? Am I clicking double protect? I think double protect probably makes the most sense. I could fake out Shadow Ball. The question is it worth risking the Frostlass damage into the Gengar? Because I might not even KO with Shadow Ball and they might KO me back. They could outspeed me, but I don't think I know where their mid ground is. Maybe I should have just brought Kingambit against this, but you know what? I'm going to Shadow Ball the Frostlass. I'm going to fake out the Gambit. They retreat the Gambit. They don't have a Garchomp. Is this Basque? Archaludon. Oh, to get the... Wait, I could have close combat that slot. I could have close combat that slot. Also, the Frostlass Mega Evolved, but that doesn't indicate speed because we don't know the order yet. Because Gengar has more natural speed than the Frostlass after the Mega Evolutions have occurred. So let's see what the stat points are like. Is it actually fast Frostlass? Fake out. I should close combated. Okay. Okay, I am faster. Does this KO though? Because it's no invested Gengar. It does KO the Frostlass, so I guess go for risk and you get rewarded, I suppose. So I get rid of Frostlass, which is beautiful. It's leftovers Arch, which makes sense. I'm in a good spot now. I'm in a good spot. Let's see if Pelipper comes in. Yep, Pelipper comes in. Shadow Ball close combat could get the Arch, but I don't think that's worth the risk. I think my best play... I could just close combat the Archaludon slot. Yeah, I think I protect the Gengar and I just close combat the Archaludon. Actually, no, I need Sneasler so I beat the Gambit because the Gambit's really rough if I don't have it. So do I go Ninetales? I don't know if they Electroshock or they Draco immediately, because if they get the read right, it's a bit annoying. But you know what? I think I Perish Song. I go Ninetales. Because they have to respect Sneasler as a threat too. They have like, there's multiple threats that has to be considered. Like this Perish Song, Ninetales might be like they might suspect it, but the thing is, I could also go Instant and Protect as well, which is also pretty reasonable for me. So let's see what they decide to go for. They Flash Cannon the Gengar. Okay, I don't think they can... Oh, they crit me. Oh, they didn't crit me. I just guaranteed one. Okay. Oh, wait. No, I survived. Never mind. I thought I lost because they crit me. Okay, I think I win guaranteed now. Yeah, I win guaranteed because I can protect Gengar and go Instant on the Ninetales slot. This way I have access to Parting Shot the next turn. Yeah. This works. Okay. This works. Go Instant, get the Intimidate off. Protect the Gengar as they double up the Instant, but that's fine. They protect the Arch. I don't know why they protected the Arch. Okay. Tailwind. Sure. Okay, my best play is to always just go Ninetales on the Gengar slot, and it's actually Departing Shot the Gengar slot. They might Flash Cannon the Ninetales on the Switch, but that's fine. All I have to do is just remove these two Pokemon, and then Sneasler should win. So I'm going to go back to Ninetales, because here's the thing. Let's say they go for a double protect. Yeah, that's fine if they do that too. So the options were Flash Cannon kills a Ninetales, I get Gengar in guaranteed, or they go for a double protect with our child on protect Pelipper as I parting shot one of them. Then I don't have Gengar on the field, and then they can switch out. Granted, one of them is guaranteed to go down, but I felt like this was the best line to guarantee to win here. Because now I can just double protect on the Perish just counting down, and then it's Gambit versus Gengar, Incin, and my Sneasler. So yeah, I felt that was worth it. As we'll go for double protect, as this is the last turn to Perish. So then next turn we can Shadow Ball Flare Blitz, or no, I just Perish Song again. There are multiple ways I could win the game. Shadow Ball puts the Sneasler, or puts the Kingambit to Sneasler close combat range, which is fine, but yeah. And if Ninetales survived and I got a parting shot off, I get Gengar in next to Ninetales, I just double protect the following turn. It's still the same victory plan. So we will double protect with our Mons so that they are forced to go down with both of these to the Perish Song, and now I win. I thought when they hit the Flash Cannon crit, I thought I lost, but the Gengar, I guess it's a poor Pelipper because that Weather Ball did absolutely no damage. But battle is going to be forfeit because they do realize they do lose to Sneasler. Or, well, Kingambit can't win this end game anyway, but they do lose to Sneasler. All right, we have Ceruledge, Garchomp, Sneasler, oh no, not Kingambit, Kangaskhan. We have Sylveon and Dragonite. So Ceruledge is pretty interesting. We don't see that Pokemon too much. And we have 3 potential Megas, but Kangaskhan should be the Mega most likely on this team. Very interesting composition. Really cool composition from my opponent. All right. I do like the Gengar as well as the Incineroar. It's pretty good overall as a lead. I guess Sneasler is really solid too. Yeah, Sneasler's pretty good. So I think it's probably Gengar. Maybe it's Gengar Sneasler, which isn't a bad lead here. Yeah, I guess Gengar Sneasler puts on a lot of pressure that isn't into Ceruledge immediately. I do want the Ninetales as a backup answer to the Dragonite, and I do want my own Incin, which is good. I'm curious if I even ever bring Dragonite, my own Dragonite, into this game. It's good against the Garchomp, but it's not really great into anything else other than extreme speed. It can be good into Ceruledge, I suppose. Because the thing is, I don't have the best ways of damaging the Ceruledge with what I'm bringing here. I only have Gengar, so maybe I should have brought it. I don't think I can bring Kingambit this game because I don't think Kingambit's good without Iron Head against this team. But we'll see. Garchomp, Kangaskhan. Okay. Versus Sneasler and Gengar. Fascinating. Okay. I think my best play is probably just to go for... Trying to figure about what the best play is here. I think it's Mega Evolve Protect, go to Incin. They could do a lot of damage here, but granted, I think this is the best case. The next turn is going to be tricky. I might be taking a double edge on a Sneasler slot, but we'll see. I think Incin, I need to intimidate that Garchomp immediately. I also get to find out if it's Scarfed the next turn, which is huge. Alright, Mega Evolve with the Gengar. I need to keep Gengar around, otherwise I just lose to the Ceruledge, so I gotta keep that in mind. I also gotta keep it healthy in case it's Shadow Sneak. Okay, they don't Mega Evolve. They might be going for Fake Out into the Gengar just in case. Oh, they faked out the Sneasler. What? What if I faked out the Garchomp? Okay, they Stomping Tantrum the Sneasler. What a interesting play turn 1, but okay, that works. Stomping Tantrum 2. Did I Perish Song fake out the Kangaskhan? It might be my best play here. Yeah, I'm gonna fake out the Kangaskhan. It's not Inner Focus, it's Scrappy. Stomping Tantrum, it's Garchomp. Okay, good to confirm. Okay. We get a Perish Song off. The upcoming turn's a little bit suspicious, but granted, I don't think it's that bad. Because I double protect this turn, I parting shot afterward. Yeah, I'm in an okay spot. So we go for a double protect here to stall out a turn of Perish. Then we can parting shot, go Ninetales. I'm just suspicious on if I beat Sarilege or not at this range. I mean, if I get one Perish Song off and have 3 Pokemon remaining, I probably win. But we'll see. They Mega Evolved the Kangaskhan, so they're going for the maximum damage output. Actually, do I go Ninetales or do I go Sneasler? I might go Sneasler. I might double swap, actually. Okay. Stomping Tantrum into the Incin and Double Edge into Incin as well. Yep. Now the question is, are you going to target down the Gengar slot or are you going to double target the Incin slot again? I think I have to parting shot, which is the worst part. I think I have to parting shot. I don't feel like I need Sneasler in this game. I don't think it's very likely I need Sneasler in this game. The question is if they double edge the Instant slot or they double edge the Ninetales slot. If they double edge the Ninetales slot, my best play is to go Sneasler to sack it to double edge, so I get a free switch back. So I still have Instant around. But I think I have to parting shot here. And I'm gonna parting shot out the Garchomp because we know it's Scarf Garchomp, so it can't protect. Alright, let's see if this works or not. We get Sneasler back in. They doubled up the Instant slot again, didn't they? Wait, what? Oh, they crit me? Wait, that's such a bad crit. That's such a bad crit because I lived the stomping guaranteed. Oh my goodness. Wait, that's really bad. I just lose off that. Because they get the double edge in the Sneasler. If they KO the Incin with double edge, it's fine because I still have Sash Sneasler. I have 2 Pokemon. Oh my goodness. Well, this game is sometimes like that. Unfortunate, but like, what can I do? Is there a way to win this? Probably not. I have to crit the Sarilege and hope it doesn't have Shadow Sneak. I think that's like my only hope. Because I just lose because they crit my Incin. Because it allowed him to get a double edge off into Sneasler and get a double knockout. They didn't get a double knockout otherwise. Stomping Tantrum doesn't get double base power based because they hit into a protect. It doesn't work like that, so... Yeah, that was -1, just regular Stomping Tantrum, and Incin would have definitely lived that. That's frustrating. I think there was probably a better position to get Ninetales in earlier, though. Maybe I should have just got Ninetales in Blizzard earlier, which probably helped out, which would have helped out here. So, even though I don't think this Perish... Even though I did get unlucky in this, I do think that the Perish line probably wasn't it. I think it was try to get a Ninetales position. And I think Instant Lead was better here than Sneasler. Sneasler was not as good as I was hoping for it to be. Okay, they both faint, but I think this is really unlikely to win. Unless I can KO the Sarilege, and whatever Pokemon in the back loses to Gengar Ninetales. Sarilege is not surprising as the back. What's the last? It's Sneasler. Okay. So if they don't have Shadow Sneak and I'm able to crit KO the Sarilege, that's my play. I'm gonna go for Shadow Ball Blizzard. It's like my only play. Yep, they have Shadow Sneak. It's game. That's why I was thinking I needed the Gengar healthier earlier. But yeah, I think I had to go for the Perish. Maybe it was better to go for the Stomping, but the problem is I didn't see how I was breaking through Kangaskhan quickly enough. But I guess if I had Sneasler, maybe it was a play. I don't think I can freeze out of this, unfortunately. I freeze the Sarilege, but maybe I could have protected frozen the Sneasler. Maybe that was better. If I Blizzard freeze the Sarilege and protected the Gengar, but there was also a world where they didn't carry Shadow Sneak because sometimes they just don't carry Shadow Sneak. Maybe it's like bulk up plus like Poltergeist, but yeah, it's probably over here. They Dire Claw KO unless they don't have Dire Claw, which would be very suspicious. Maybe they have Gunk Shot and they're just gonna go for damage with close combat. That's also, I guess, reasonable. They do have Dire Claw. I do think this game was definitely winnable though without the crit, but here's the thing. If they doubled into Incin naturally, I might have still lost anyway with, because I didn't have Intimidate, and then I just don't know how I'm beating the Sailor Edge. But it's not over because I still have access to disable with Ninetales, so I can disable the Shadow Sneak. So it was definitely like reasonable for me to win. Like the crit just took me out of the game, or most likely took me out of the game, unless again Protect, Blizzard Freeze, and then get calls right. But I mean that's still really unlikely. All right, we have Talonflame, Basculegion, Sneasler, Mousehold, Eternal Floet, and the Kingambit. So Gambit a little bit spooky. Am I bringing my own Gambit this time? Maybe. Sneasler's not a bad lead though. Sneasler Gengar is actually pretty solid for the most part. I don't think I need Ninetales in this game. It doesn't really do that much for me. So I think I go with like Sneasler Gengar with the fake out pressure and just the immediate threat into their Gambit. Have my own Gambit as well as Instant in the back. I don't mind Dragonite because Extreme Speed, Sludge Bomb, or Shadow Ball does so much here, but I like Gambit for their Basculegion and their own Gambit potentially. And Instant's obviously really good, and then the fighting coverage for Gambit is just really nice, as well as Dire Claw. That like Sneaser's just really good here. So is Gengar. Dragonite's only better into Talonflame and Sneasler. It could be good in the Bass, but I don't KO it quickly enough, which is the important part. Low kick on the Dragonite could have been good here. Like Dragon Claw and Extreme Speed gets a lot, but the problem is it makes it harder for me to deal with the Floet, I think. And Sash Sneasler is pretty safe in a lot of regards here, I believe. So I do think that this is the best angle that I do have access to. Let's see what they decide to go with. What is your lead here? Could be a Talonflame lead or a Mouse lead, but I think Mouse is unlikely. Oh, they led. Wait, what? What is this lead? The reason I'm saying what is this lead is they get perished. I'm gonna fake out the Floet and Perish Song. I could also fake out Sludge Bomb as well, which is also fair. But I'm gonna Perish in case they protect. I don't know. I don't think the Mousehold Floet combination is correct. Unless they have Bask back. They might have Bask and they might go into Bask, which is fair, I guess. But I don't know. This lead just seemed really rough into Gengar stuff in general. So I'm very shocked they led this. I felt like Talonflame offense lead or Bask lead or even switch to Bask here is not like a bad play either. Like I could have seen Mousehold switch to Bask and protect. But they went on the offense here, it looks like, as they Mega Evolve. Fairy Aura. So we get a fake out into the Floet. Yeah, I can't believe they would have let me get a Sludge Bomb off. Are they Encore Mousehold? If they taunt, that's fine. Because they can't knock out my Gengar with Floet. Yeah, they taunt, but here's the thing. Even if I can't protect, I still threaten a lot of damage. Also, if I just Sludge Bombed, you lost on the spot. So that's fine by me. I have Sash on both anyway. I think I just Dire Claw Sludge Bomb. Yeah, I can Dire Claw Sludge Bomb. I don't know if they protect the Mousehold, which... Well, my Gengar's faster anyway, right? Than my Sneasler? Yeah, so I just Sludge Bomb here, and I Dire Claw. Because then next turn I can Sludge Bomb Dire Claw again, and that's pretty reasonable for me. So I think this is still pretty okay. I mean, they would have lost on the spot if I just clicked Fake Out plus Sludge Bomb. They would have lost on the spot because they took so much damage. But you know what? We'll see. They follow me, which is fine because I'm forced to Sludge Bomb Dire Claw anyway. And then I'm in a good spot regardless. So here comes Sludge Bomb. I have Sash on the Sneasler, so I live. Even if it's Citrus Berry, that's actually better for me if I don't KO with Dire Claw. Because next turn, then I threaten Sludge Bomb Dire Claw again. I get the poison too, which... Does that help me? I don't know if that helps me. Okay, they go for Light of Ruin. I do have Sash on the Sneasler. Oh, I guess this kind... No, this is still fine. Because no matter what, I can still Dire Claw. Yeah. So the mouse is going to go down to poison. Do I just Dire Claw plus Sludge Bomb, or do I read Faint from the Mousehold and switch? Because Sneasler is actually still pretty nice to have. I think I just Dire Claw Sludge Bomb again. Yeah, I just Dire Claw Sludge Bomb again, I think. Because if they have Taunt, they usually drop Feint. Because it's Follow Me, probably Super Fang, Protect, Feint. So I just Dire Claw Sludge Bomb. Yeah, that's always the play here. Then next turn I can double swap. They can protect Floette. Mouse is guaranteed to go down this turn. Unless they drop Super Fang from this team, but I really doubt it. Okay, they do protect Floette, so they're sacrificing the Mouse here, which is perfect for me. Okay, goodbye Mouse. Do I want the Gengar around, I guess is the question. We Sludge Bomb into the Protect. Because I could Sludge Bomb the Floette, or I could Perish again. Because the thing is, I still have to switch into a Light of Ruin, which is not great. So maybe I could have also read that and hard swapped. Okay, they go Sneasler here. Okay. Do I think the back is Kingambit, or do I think the back is Basky Legion? Because I'm kind of willing to go on the aggressive here. If I can KO Sneasler, I'm in a good spot. But the thing is, I am at max. You know what? I'm doubling up the Sneasler. You might think this is crazy, but I think getting rid of the Sneasler is probably priority so I can win with Gambit. Okay, they went for a Fake Out into Sneasler when I could have swapped. But I guess maybe like it didn't matter. Okay, I do get the Shadow Ball off, which is good damage. This endgame is spooky. They Light of Ruin, but it doesn't matter because both of these Pokemon are going down to Perish anyway. Although the thing is, if I just swap out Sneasler and the Incin, and I swap out the Gengar and the Gambit, I think they just lose. I thought they were going to close combat to activate like a White Herb on the Sneasler, so they can also pressure like switch-ins from the Dark types. That's why I'm confused on that, but okay. Gambit and Incin. Unfortunately, the problem is I don't live close combat. Okay, it is Basket Legion back. That's what I thought. Okay. So this is still really good for me. This is still good for me, I think. Because I live Wave Crash from the Basque, and Sucker Punch should KO the Basque. I guess the question is, are you Sash Basket Legion? Actually, it's very likely Sash Basket Legion, I think. Do I have to make a read here? I could fake out the Sneasler, or do I double up the Basque? Because I think it's Sash on this team. I don't think it's Scarf. Do I read Sneasler Protect? Because if they Protect, I go for a double up in the Basque. They're not going to jet my Instant ever. I think I go for Flare Blitz plus Sucker Punch into the Gambit, or into the Basque. Let's see. Also, it depends on the Sneasler set. Oh, I could have faked out. That's bad. Yeah, it is Sash. I think I just gotta live a close combat. Okay, that was a crit, doesn't matter. They close combat the instant. Wait, I lived this. Yeah, I lived that. And now they're -1 defense. Wait, what did they do with the Bass? Did they double up? Liquidation. Okay. I think I KO Sneasler with Sucker, so it's literally just a mind game between the Gambit and the Sneasler. I'm max attack Gambit. If I... Well, actually, no. There was like no counterplay that I had. I guess Kowtow to Sneasler. Okay. We're going to be playing mind games against the Sneasler. They don't protect this turn. Are they just going to raw close combat? They jet. Do they think they live close combat? They're -1 defense. I still go for it, right? Because Bass does no damage here. Yeah, Bass with Intimidate does like no damage to Gambit. Or it'll do decent amount, but it's like nowhere near enough. I'm Sucker Punching the Sneasler. I almost drew out the Sucker Punch immediately, but wasn't 100% certain. I don't know if Sucker... this is max attack Sucker Punch, but we'll see. They did attack here, it looks like, because I don't think they have coaching. Yeah, Sucker. Ah, just barely missing the knockout on Sneasler. Oh, man. I can't believe they gave me an opportunity. I'm pretty sure Gengar Switch won me the game, but I really thought they were going to close combat my Sneasler slot because I thought they were going to try to reposition the... I thought they were going to reposition in the end game by going for like Light of Ruin, catching a slot, and then close combating the other. So the double dark actually kind of hurt me here. I think I should have went Incin for the Sneasler and just kept it so I have double fake out. I also live close combat with the wider, even drew the wider, so I forgot about that. So I should have faked out. I should have swapped Sneasler to Incin because unless they double up that slot with Light of Ruin, it's still worth it. And then I probably go Gambit for the other. I wanted Gambit just in case because I had Sash on the Sneasler remaining, or I had 1 HP on the Sneasler, so I wasn't sure if I was beating a Gambit. I wasn't sure if it was Gambit as last or Basculegion as last at this point, but I did win by switching out the Sneasler into Incin and then sacking the Gengar for Gambit, because then I would have had Fake Out Pressure and then I probably would have had Perish on deck, which would have been really nice. And obviously Gengar would have been really clutch in the end game too, but unfortunately that was not the case. Also, if I just faked out the Sneasler, because they play like a madman with the Sneasler, I could have faked out the Sneasler and Kowtowed and that would have also won. Alright, we have Garchomp, Frostlass, Sneasler, Kingambit, Basculegion, Dragonite. This looks pretty tough. They got 2 or 3 potential Megas here. I'm trying to think what my best combo is. I actually like Ninetales Gambit a lot here. Is that bad? I think it's pretty good against a lot of my opponent's team. It's only bad against the Sneasler, but I don't know if they're leading Sneasler against me because of the Gengar. I think I'm going to try out Ninetales plus Gambit. I actually think it's pretty good here. I think I'll bring Gengar Instant back because here's the thing. If they're not Iron Head on Gambit, they can't touch my Ninetales. And if they do have Iron Head, then I can disable it, which isn't bad, and that would also mean it doesn't have low kick. And if it's low kick Gambit, it probably doesn't have Iron Head. But then again, I guess it could be like one of those rare Iron Head low kick Sucker Punch Gambits, which is a thing, I suppose. But I do like the Gambit lead because it pressures the Frostlass, while Ninetales pressures the Dragons. And I also pressure the Basculegion with Gambit. So it pressures like a lot of their lead. Like it pressures 5 out of 6 Mons immediately right off the bat. Only Mon I don't pressure is Sneasler, where I could swap out into Gengar in a potential close combat. So it's not like that bad. Like Sneasler here, I don't really like it. There's a lot of ways that can play around the Focus Sash on the Sneasler, and I don't really like Dragonite against Frostlass Double Dragon. So I think this is the best 4. I don't know if my order is correct, but I really do like the lead here for the most part. Like again, it's only Sneasler lead, and they lead Dragonite Kingambit, so this is perfect. So I lead Ninetales plus Kingambit. And I can threaten Blizzard plus low kick immediately. I could threaten Sucker Punch plus Blizzard. I think my best play, this could be Tailwind though on the Dragonite. So I guess my best play is just to protect and low kick. Yeah, it is to protect low kick the Gambit. And find out if you have Iron Head or if you have low kick. They have a lot of Gambit answers already, so I wouldn't be surprised if this is Iron Head. And if it's Iron Head, this probably makes it easier for me. But I'm curious on the Dragonite moveset. Are you Tailwind? Because if it's Tailwind... Oh, it's Mega. Okay, we don't have to worry about Frostlass in this game, but Mega. Wait, I could Sucker Punch Blizzard, but this probably means it Tailwinds, right? Like, you should Tailwind if this is the case. As we protect our Ninetales. Also, how fast is the Gambit is also going to be a big question in this game. Yeah, it is Tailwind. Is this Iron Head or low kick? Ah, it's low kick. Okay, so we're going to trade low kicks on the Gambit. That probably means they don't have a way to hit my Ninetales, right? But I can't believe they let me just Blizzard to Mega Dragonite raw on the spot. Here comes the low kick. I think Sucker Punch Blizzard might get the Gambit here, and I think that might be worth going for. Or I could Encore as well. Oh man, options. There's a lot of them. I could Sucker Punch a Dragonite Blizzard as well. Does Sucker Punch plus Blizzard get the Gambit? I feel like it might, because it is Never Melt Ice. I'm gonna go for it. This is max attack Gambit. I think it's willing to go for. Does the Dragonite risk itself, though, to Sucker Punch plus Blizzard? I'm also curious on what the moveset the Dragonite is. But yeah, I do like Sucker Punch Blizzard here. Sucker Punch. Oh, the Blizzard's definitely not going to be enough. I thought that Sucker Punch was doing more. Air Slash. Don't flinch me. Oh, it's fast, but they went for Kowtow. Okay, that's fine. Okay, we get the Blizzard off. That's a massive Blizzard. Okay. Not great. Playable. Oh, really playable. Really playable. Also, why is there a Gambit that fast? Okay, I don't obviously want to risk them just unfalling and then we put in a bad spot, but is there a safe call here? I think it is. I think it just protects the... Their Gambit's really fast if they outspeed Ninetales through the Tailwind. That's a lot of speed. Huh. I could Blizzard plus Kowtow the Gambit slot, which I think might be worth it. Because they might Sucker Punch attempt to dodge my Sucker Punch. Yeah, they Sucker Punch to dodge my Sucker Punch, but I don't mind this. Let's see if Dragonite unfalls or not. They crit me, which is actually kind of annoying. But, okay, only if it didn't unfall. Okay, cool. I get a Blizzard off, I get a double KO, and now we have an interesting endgame. I can't believe they were playing so risky with Mega Dragonite because Sucker Punch Blizzard could have just ended them. But alright. I'm still back. I still think I was fine as long as I was able to position a knockout and a Gambit the next turn. But it was like a Sucker Punch mind game because I could Sucker Punch the Gambit or on a low kick or they Sucker Punch me. So it was always a mind game there. This is why it was kind of annoying for the crit here. Because I guess I need to find out what item the Bask is. My play is just to double protect here. I just need to make sure that I can KO the Bask safely. Also, if it's not Sash, like, are you Sash or are you Scarf? Because they might double attack here. Let's see. They Jet. I'm very curious on your item. It's Swords Dance? Are you Jolly Swords Dance? I am very confused here. Okay, wait. I want to assume this is not Scarf Basket Legion. I'm trying to figure out how I position this endgame safely. I think it's go Incin and go for Kowtow because I live Jet. And if it's not Sash, I do win here, but... what? Swords Dance? This should be White Herb. Oh, it's not White Herb. Okay, they protected. Wait, that works out. Did they just Wave Crash? Oh, they double protected. Wait, that's even better. Okay, so we confirm it's not Scarf Bask. And I think I could Sucker Punch it. Also, we confirmed the Sneasler isn't Scar or Mental or White Herb. So I can still Fake Out. And break a Sash, I guess. Does bringing a Sash really matter? Not too much, but I mean, this does matter for some endgames. I'm going to Sucker Punch the Basket Legion. Because Aqua Jet doesn't KO Gambit, so they would have to Aqua Jet and then get a read right. So Swords Dance protects Sneasler. There's no way they have upper hand. Also, yeah, I think that this is pretty decent for me. We do Fake Out the Sneasler. We do get the Sucker Punch off. Beautiful. Good damage to the Bask. As they go for Wave Crash. Perfect. So Gambit goes down. That's acceptable. It's kind of a weird mind game, but I still think that this works out pretty well for me. I get to go out into Gengar. I'm a bit worried about like what the Sneasler set is, but we do go out into Ninetales. The question is, am I Shadow Balling? Because the Bask could protect here. I think I Shadow Ball the Bask immediately, but let's see. Because I quad resist Dire Claw. I'm immune to close combat. So there are a few things that could get a little bit spooky, but I do think that overall I have a good position for the most part. There's only like a few things that could go wrong here. And I go for Shadow Ball because I don't want him to read my protect and attack, because then they can protect the next turn and then it gets really messy, I think. So I think I go for the immediate offense. Yeah, that's fine still. Let's see what Sneasler does. Okay, I'm faster than a Sneasler, so that's Adamant Sneasler. They Swords Dance again, that's fine. I'm faster than Sneasler, so I can just Encore the Sneasler into the... I can just Encore the Sneasler and I can Shadow Ball the Bask. Yeah, that works. Okay. So I can Shadow Ball the Bask and Encore the Sneasler into the Swords Dance, because I'm faster than Adamant Sneasler, and they're either jolly with not max investment. The Protect is fine too from the Bask, realistically. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure, unless this is some weird speed interaction. Yeah, I got the Encore off into Sneasler, so the game is set. Now I can Blizzard Shadow Ball safely. And they'll never be able to win the end game. So I go for... I protect the Ninetales in case they Aqua Jet crit, I suppose, and Shadow Ball the Bask. I guess I could have also went Instant. Either way, like, I can't lose. They're locked into Swords Dance for the infinite turns. The Basculegia has to get like 3 more protects to stall out the Encore on Sneasler. And then even then, like, it's still looking pretty rough for them to be able to win the game. So yeah, I just Shadow Ball here and I'll be fine. Okay, interesting Swords Dance Sneasler, and I don't know if it's Sash Bass. Probably not if you're Wave Crash, so I don't know what the item is. Maybe it's Mystic Water. I know Jet can't KO my Ninetales, but in Snow without a crit. But if I do get crit, I mean, I still win. I click Flare but Shadow Ball the next turn regardless, so there's like no way for me to lose realistically here. Yeah. I get a Shadow Ball off into the Bass, takes a knockout, then I can Blizzard Shadow Ball the Sneasler in the end game. They're still locked into Swords Dance. I can just stick here with the Ninetales, click Encore when if they survive the next Blizzard Shadow Ball, and it'll still be fine. I guess this could be Citrus. Am I risking this being Citrus? I mean, I don't really care. This could be bulky Citrus Sneasler. I've seen those before, but yeah, they kind of realize that it's very unlikely to win. Because even if it's Citrus Berry Sneasler, they get the Unburden, like, it doesn't matter, right? Because I still have too many attacks that they have to survive, and they can't win off that. So how was the team? No surprise? Of course it's going to be really good. You have Mega Gengar with Shadow Tag, which is one of the most broken abilities in the format, alongside some pretty good generic strong Pokemon. Like, they're the best Pokemon in the format for a reason, right? You have Incineroar, which of course, really good partner with Mega Gengar. You have Sneasler, which is one of the best ways to threaten heavy damage with the close combat, especially into like Kingambits and other dark types out there. And then you have your own Kingambit for Basculegion, as well as like, it's just really good because of its good bulk and damage output, and of course threatening maybe faster ghost types than the Mega Gengar. Yeah, it's just a good mon in general. So you have a lot of cool tools. The Ninetales is really sick because Encore Disable, of course, is just really good with Mega Gengar. We saw a few different compositions with Mega Gengar and alone Ninetales that was able to do well in the big online tournaments recently. So I think it is really cool. And then Dragonite, thankfully not Scale Shot. Thankfully not Scale Shot, going for Dragon Claw for more consistency, but it's a really nice set. Dragon Claw is able to do a lot of damage, especially with that Dragon Fang, and Extreme Speed Low Kick. Those are pretty nice to be able to clean up weakened foes, and Low Kick, of course, more Gambit and Incineroar hate that you do want with Mega Gengar. If you'd like to try out the team, again, you can try it out with the replica code right here, and otherwise you can check out the details of the team and the creators down below in the description, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more VGC content as always.